Hello, how's everybody doing today? It's your boy Rich and our special guest David Moadel. How you doing today, David?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing really. However, I could be better if I had something better to start with. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
my heart, my prayers goes out to the families of any of the victims of this Vegas massacre. Another horrific Another horrific event occurring in a country concert, where there was a country singer that was literally on stage when a shooter started opening fire from his hotel room at Mandalay Bay Hotel, murdering over 50 people and injuring, I believe, hundreds more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Terrible.
it's
Terrible.
sick. I mean, it seems like every week we're having discussions about stuff that is not good. And I don't really
Yeah.
want to use this platform for that, but we're just living in a crazy world, David, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's just talk about it.
Sure.
Las Vegas, supposed to be the number one place in the world for travel, number
Right.
one place for people to go here in Canada to just go away and gamble, have a nice weekend, get away with your loved ones, get away with your buddies, do some fantasy football, do some gambling, go to a club, go watch a show. Now all of a sudden, a public event, a concert's happening publicly outside with tons of tourists. Some Canadians were injured and murdered, some locally from my own town here. It's really hitting home. And
Yeah.
when you're doing that in Las Vegas, it shows us, it's proving that nobody's safe. We're living in a world where nobody's safe anymore of terrorist acts, of acts of evil, of homegrown acts. And I don't know who's to blame for this. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if this person was American. I believe he's American. Apparently ISIS is trying to take credit for it. I don't know exactly who's to take credit for this massacre, but this is one of the worst massacres ever in
Yeah.
on American soil, and it is just a cowardly act. And apparently,
Right.
when the police got there, the shooter was already dead. So apparently, he committed suicide. So he wanted to commit suicide, but decided to murder many other innocent people that he doesn't even know on his way out. What do you think about this,
Terrible.
David? What do you think about this?
This is terrible, and it's. Is this like an epidemic? Is that the right word for this? Because this isn't the first time we've seen this. It probably won't be the last. I hate to say it. What's going on? Well, I can tell you what we know so far, and this is right off the news. A gunman opened fire. This is from Yahoo News. A gunman opened fire from his hotel room overlooking a country music festival in Las Vegas on Sunday night. That was last night. At least 58 people were killed and more than 500 people injured. More than
Wow.
500 people injured.
500. And I don't believe 500 people were shot, but I believe
Right.
hundreds were injured because of the stampede of people
Yeah.
running for
Yeah.
their safety. The
Sure.
videos are horrific. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen them, but there's videos popping up everywhere of people just scrambling on their hands and knees, just scrambling. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
It's easy to say that everybody should leave in an orderly manner, but when somebody's shooting, you can't think. You just go. Your instincts take over. So of course there's going to be some injuries resulting from that. It's terrible. And this is it says it right here, the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Wow. So this is huge. Among the dead includes an off-duty Las Vegas police officer, and two on-duty officers were injured. Now the suspect, I don't know if we should say his name or not. I don't want to, give him credit, but we'll just say a 64-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada, killed himself before police reached his hotel room. So at least we won't have a trial, but still, this is just terrible. More than 10 rifles were found in the room, according to Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo. More than 20,000 people were attending the Route 91 Harvest Festival concert. Jason Aldean was performing when the shots rang out at around 10:08 p.m. local time. Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman called the suspected gunman a crazed lunatic full of hate. I tend to agree with that. President Trump described the attack as an act of pure evil. Whether you like Trump or not, I mean, I think we all have to agree with what he said there. And said he will travel to Las Vegas on Wednesday. I don't know. Again, what do you think, Rich? Is this some sort of epidemic? What's going on?
Well, it's unfortunate because it seems as though people, before they want to kill themselves, they like to kill other people. It's like their
Yeah,
15 minutes of fame. And unfortunately, all media outlets, all news are going to just gravitate towards that information. And they're
yeah,
going to give those people, unfortunately, their 15 minutes of fame, if you want to call it that.
right.
Now, is it an epidemic? I hope not. Is it happening more often? I don't know if it's happening more often, but because of mass media, because of news, because of communication, because of social media, everything is instant. People are sharing information instantly and faster
Right.
than ever before. Because of
Sure.
that, I think we hear about things faster. We hear about it
Okay.
instantly, and because of it, it seems as though it's bigger and it's a bigger epidemic than ever before. But since the beginning of our time, since the beginning of history, whenever we go back to read, the history of our forefathers and the 1500s and 1600s and the early days, all there's ever been is massacres. All there's ever been is war. All there's
Right.
ever been
Okay.
is bloodshed, and history just repeats itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Sure, it does. It's just that I don't know. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't see things like this. At least in the United States, it didn't seem as well. Maybe you're right. Maybe it just wasn't as publicly available. The information, not as quickly. It didn't saturate us and the media like it does now. But I just remember it seems to have started with Columbine back in the late 1990s. I remember I was actually a teacher's assistant. I was working as an educator in Gainesville, Florida, and so it hit me really hard that somebody, I was working with teenagers at the time, and the idea that two teenagers would walk in with trench coats and shoot up a bunch of teachers and students, and just we were all so shocked at the school that I was working at. And it seems like since that time, the pace has just picked up in terms of the number of shootings. Or is it just more coverage? I don't know. I don't even know what to
Well,
make of this. It's
you
just terrible.
you don't see that amount of shootings here in Canada. You do
Yeah.
see some crazy acts. There was actually something just happened yesterday. So where someone attacked a police officer and murdered a police officer. So you do see it here too. Not maybe as much, maybe not on as large of a scale as you see it in
Yeah.
America, but it's starting to it seems like it is starting to escalate, and it does seem like this like you see how people are getting in cars now and running over people. Like this
Yeah.
seems to be like
Yeah.
the new thing,
Yeah.
crashing planes into people, crashing cars into people, shooting
Right.
people at concerts. There was
Right.
the Ariana Grande concert earlier this year. Now there's this concert. It seems like they are starting to do this in a more public way,
Yeah.
to try to create more fear, to try to create more awareness, to try to create more media coverage, to try to create more noise. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's working. It's working.
It kind of is working. Yeah. I wonder, are these people like, are they terrorists? Are they ISIS related? Or are they just some crazy person, some random person? I'm sure it's different on a case by case basis. You can't just say they're all terrorists, and yet they're committing what looks like a terroristic act. I mean, it is creating chaos. It's creating terror. Isn't that what terrorism is? I don't know.
Apparently, this individual was American.
Yeah.
And nobody knows. There will never be a trial because he committed suicide. Apparently reported
Yeah.
that he committed
Right.
suicide.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows, but it's just a horrible thing that You go to bed
Yeah.
seeing this, you wake up seeing this, and you're just like, man, like, why can't we talk about positive things?
Yeah.
You know,
On Rich,
why
on
are
Rich
we?
TV Live, we want to be happy. We want to be fun. So, but we also want to report the news as well. We want to be first with the news and keep you updated. So that's why it's a bit of a downer. It's true, but we're going to keep coming at you with what's in the headlines, what's in the news, because we want to keep you informed and we want to let you know that we are concerned. This isn't just about making money by any means necessary. Rich TV Live. It's also, we are concerned about issues. We're concerned about what's happening in this world, and so we have to talk about these things. And hopefully next week, hopefully nothing like this will happen for next week's show. And we'll talk about some happy things too, and we'll tell you how to make money today as well.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think we had to start the show with that because it is the
Yeah.
biggest news of the day. But there's a lot of
Right.
other really good things that are happening. For example, Bitcoin has
Yes.
been on a very strong run. Okay?
Yeah.
They hit a high of 44.29, I believe, in the last what here? In the
Yeah.
last hour, in the last 24 hours,
Yeah.
they have hit a high of, yeah, I guess it's about the same. 44, yeah, about 44.29. 44. So the highest they've been in the last 24 hours is 44.44. So we are approaching those really, really high highs, those all-time highs of 5,000 again. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you think about Bitcoin? I mean, Bitcoin's making a big move. I'm very excited about it. I'm accumulating Bitcoin almost every day now. I'm a very big fan of Bitcoin. It's kind of taken over my life. It's captured my imagination. All the cryptocurrencies have, the whole industry has, but Bitcoin specifically is on fire right now. Currently at $4,372. What do you think about it?
Do you mean to tell me, Rich, that Jamie Dimon, CEO and head of JP Morgan, was wrong when he said that Bitcoin is, what did he say, a scam or something like that?
A
Or
fraud. He called it a fraud.
Is it possible that somebody of that stature could be wrong? Yes, it's possible. It happens all the time. Don't let guys like that scare you. In fact, as we discussed last week on Rich TV Live, JP Morgan, while he was saying that, JP Morgan, his company had holdings in cryptocurrencies. Okay. So, yeah, as far as making your decisions based on what one guy says, I don't care if I don't care what he's the head of. Okay. I don't care if he's Warren Buffett. I really like Warren Buffett, but you got to make your own decisions. Okay. Look at the chart, look at the fundamentals, look at the supply and demand. Because, Rich, isn't it all about supply and demand, whether people want this, whether people want the cryptocurrencies?
Yes,
And
because
clearly they do.
There's going to
When
be a
something-
day that everybody wants a sliver,
Yeah.
just a little portion of Bitcoin.
Right. Yep.
So right now, if you can get one full Bitcoin, you are one of the elite people in the world that have one full Bitcoin. That is a fact.
That's true.
Okay? That is a
true.
fact. So if
Not
you
everybody
have...
can afford, I'd say most people cannot afford to invest in full Bitcoins.
Well, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking $4,365 per Bitcoin as we speak right now. So obviously the average person can't afford it. So what they have to do is they can buy a portion of Bitcoin. They can buy $100 of Bitcoin. They can buy $50 of Bitcoin. They can buy $10 of Bitcoin. They can buy $1,000 of Bitcoin. They can buy $1 million of Bitcoin. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. That's what makes it so unique. That's what makes it special. You can buy fractions of Bitcoin, and people don't understand it. I want to be the guy that educates the noobs because I'm a noob. I've been doing it for now 4 months. I started in June. Started with 1 Bitcoin. Well, I'm happy to say now I probably have enough to be able to have 4 or 5 Bitcoin. I started with 1. So, you got to start somewhere. You got to get in the habit of doing these transactions. You got to get in the habit of setting up your wallets, learning how to set up exchanges, learning how to invest in cryptocurrencies through Coinbase. You need to learn how to, if you want to get involved in different platforms like BitConnect, you need to learn how to invest and transfer first into Bitcoin and then convert your Bitcoin into BitConnect and then make investments. So there's an entire process to get into this industry. It's not that easy. You can't just go to a bank and then set up an account and buy Bitcoin. That's
Right.
what makes it different.
Unfortunately.
That's what makes
Not
it
yet.
different. But
Someday, right?
but you know what? You say unfortunately, but I consider it actually fortunate because the reason why I call it fortunate is it gives us the opportunity, David. It's
Yeah.
providing us the opportunity to educate mainstream. And the more
Sure.
opportunity providing to us, the more opportunity it's providing you, the people. Because I'm
Yeah.
just like you guys. I'm just an average person.
Yeah.
I just been doing YouTube for, this is now my 10th month. So that's the only difference between me and the average person. But other than that, I'm just like an average person like everybody else, trying to learn about cryptocurrencies, trying to set up accounts, trying to set up wallets, trying to make investments, trying to win, you know, and I've lost and I've made mistakes, but I've also won. And one coin that did really well on their ICO is Regal Coin. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Regal Coin. I want to give a shout out to Epic Hustler, who has turned, yeah, he and you and Rich have turned me on to Regal Coin. I wouldn't have known about it if it weren't for you and for Epic Hustler, who've been, I mean, Epic has been doing amazing. He put out a video, I think it was yesterday, that I immediately gave it a like because, well, because it's Epic Hustler, but also because he showed his account, how much he's making. I think he put a couple hundred in, and now it's a few thousand, and in a very short period of time on Regal Coin, it's just blowing up.
Oh yeah, it's done really well.
Yeah, what has your experience been with Regal Coin?
Well, I actually don't own any, but I do have an account with Regal Coin, and I do have some referrals. But I actually physically didn't buy any because I haven't bought any ICOs yet. So you know, like you, I like to kind of watch things for a bit, see how they progress, see how they. I don't want to chase anything, but this is one that you know I probably missed on. It was at 85 cents when we found it. It was at $30 when it came out. It was at $20 earlier this morning. I've heard it was at 16 last time I looked. I don't know exactly what it's at right now, but obviously if it's at $16 and they were doing their ICO at 90 cents, it's been a huge success.
Oh yeah.
Huge success. So do I recommend Regal Coin at this price? I don't know. It seems like it might be a little bit high for me, but you know what? Stranger things have happened, and I've seen a lot of other coins go up, like BitConnect, which is over $130 right now. So do I believe Regal Coin could do it? It could, because they only have 2 million coins in supply. 2 million.
Yeah.
So the other coin that I know that has a small supply is BitConnect, which only has 6 million in supply. So their supply is almost identical to BitConnect's, which makes it very interesting. Their business model is also very similar to BitConnect, almost identical, which also makes it a little bit interesting. So I don't know if it's the same people. I don't know if it's a copycat. That's why I'm not as full blown on it. But the people that have done well, I'm really happy for them. Shout out to Crypto Trading Pro. He's actually my sponsor on Regal Coin. He's done very well for himself. I'm really happy for him. Shout out to anyone who has done well in any investment, but specifically if you've done well on Regal Coin, respect. I've got respect for anybody that does well on any investment. We're Rich TV Live. We want to help people get rich, okay? So just because I missed out on it doesn't mean that I hope that you miss out on it. In fact, if you guys have won, I'm really happy for you, and I hope you continue to win. But you know what? I'm really excited right now, to be honest with you, about BitConnect. I like Regal Coin. I think it has a lot of potential. But at the end of the day, BitConnect has been around. It's been around since May of 2016. It has already turned multiple people into six-figure breadwinners. And soon those people will be millionaires, very soon. And there are people like Craig Grant, who I've interviewed recently, that are making $10,000 a day on BitConnect. There are people like Trayvon James that have made over 400 grand. There's people like Crypto Nick that have made well over six figures on it as well. So I would like to be one of those earners. Shout out to Joey Rocket, one of the regional promoters that has really kind of helped me along my way with BidConnect as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to announce now that I've actually officially become a promoter, a promoter for BidConnect as well. So I
Right
am
on.
now officially a promoter for BidConnect, and I'm very excited about the opportunity to be a promoter for BidConnect, and I'm excited about the future of BidConnect and where we can go with BidConnect and what we can do with this company. And I believe there's going to be a lot of competitors, and there's going to be a lot of other companies like Regal Coin that are going to
Right.
coexist in the marketplace. And I think it's
Sure.
important for us to be able to analyze all of these companies, watch them all, learn from them all, and hopefully get a chance to be, profiting from the best opportunities that exist in this industry.
Sure.
But not all of them are going to work, and not all of them are going to exist, and some are going to do better than others, and unfortunately some of them are probably going to be scams as well. And that's why I'm not so quick to just jump into every platform that exists out there, because I've already been burnt multiple times, and I don't want to continuously go backwards. I don't want to
Right.
build a team on a program, build a following, build a referral program, and build a membership and build a downline, and see that business go under. It just isn't good for me. It isn't good for anybody that's involved in anything like that. So
Right.
I think, I have more of a responsibility on YouTube to do more due diligence on these platforms before I
Sure.
invest, and watch them for a little bit longer. Before I invested in Genesis, which has done very well for me, and BidConnect, I watched them for months. I signed up for them, and I was a member for months.
Right. Right.
I watched and analyzed them for months before I did anything. And then I made my investment. And both of those programs have lasted, and I'm very happy with those. Anytime I've invested in anything that hasn't been around for like longer than a month or two, those programs have somehow disappeared. And
Yeah.
nobody's done anything about it. So that's why I just don't want to go down that road anymore.
Sure. It's a great approach. I like it.
So,
Maybe I probably take that approach a little too far. As you know, I'll watch something and observe it for 6 months or even a year sometimes before I commit capital to it, because I want something that proves itself over time. Rich, you've learned the hard way, and I think we all have, that when you get into something that's brand new and hasn't proven itself over at least a few months, that you can get burned. You can lose your entire investment. And people should know, by the way, anything that we're talking about here, you only use money that you can afford to lose. You can lose your entire investment on anything, but that's not just cryptocurrencies. That's stocks, that's options. Whether it's stocks, options, even unless you're putting cash in a savings account, you can lose your money. And by the way, putting your cash in a savings account isn't so great either, because the inflation rate in the United States is 3% per year. So if you're doing nothing with your money, that's not so great either, because it's losing value
of
every
course,
single year. Yeah,
you
yeah.
could be
So
you
and
could be
also,
buying
and people should,
cryptocurrencies. You could be
yeah,
buying cryptocurrencies.
right. And again, people should know that Rich and I were not registered or licensed investment advisors. Nothing in this video is to be interpreted as investment advice. We're not telling you to buy or sell anything. You have to do your own due diligence. You have to make your own decisions. Having said that, what we can do is we can inform you of what has happened so far. So far, Rich has taken $130 worth of in BitConnect. And what are you up to now, Rich? Was $8,000 plus?
I am 1 second. I am at 8,280, I believe. And last week at this time I was at 5,800.
Uh, So those kinds of returns, we cannot get. No one can guarantee that those types of returns will continue in the future. But if Rich is making that much money week after week after week, consistently every single week, I mean, you can't argue with the results. You can't argue with the numbers. And haters, I don't know. Is it just me, Rich, or are there less haters, or are they're starting to shut up because they have nothing left to say at this
Well,
point?
I think the haters are turning into investors.
Yeah, yeah,
Haters
yeah.
are secretly investing on the side,
I think
wishing
so. I think
wishing
so.
that they didn't hate on BitConnect and they invested, because they would have already been
Yeah,
rich by now. And all the
They're
guys
like,
that invested are laughing
yeah,
at all the haters because a lot of
right,
the haters might be bigger on YouTube than they are, but the reality is they don't have as much money as those guys do. Not even
right.
remotely close. I mean, Craig Grant has made over $670,000 on BitConnect, and he's
You
making
can't
$10,000 a day.
you can't argue with that. I mean,
He shows
you
it.
know,
He shows it right in his account.
yeah,
He shows his account. He shows it. It's public. He's like, look.
right.
He goes, I'll be a millionaire in a month.
He probably will. I don't doubt it. And
There's no doubt
the
he will.
haters, the haters remind me of Jamie Dimon, the guy from J.P. Morgan,
Yeah.
talking trash about it, about cryptos, but then his company is buying it. Okay,
Yeah.
meanwhile, his own company is buying it. So I believe it. I believe that some of those haters, if not all of them, they're probably secretly either wishing that they had bought it, or they're secretly buying it. Maybe they want to do a little dump and pump type of thing, where they want to talk the price down so they can get in at a lower price. Is that going on? We don't know.
Well,
It's possible.
you can't talk down the price of BitConnect, and you can't really talk down the price of Bitcoin anymore. It's like a
Right.
freight train. Everything
Yeah.
that negative that they could come out and say about it has come out.
Yeah.
So that may
Yeah.
have been our last opportunity to buy cheap. Because I'll tell you right now, China's already said that they're banning ICOs. What are they going to say now? So it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter what China does anymore. Nobody really cares. That's kind of
Right.
really what it's coming down to. Nobody in the rest of the world cares because Bitcoin is going to have mass adoption on a global scale regardless of what
Right.
China does. And that's kind of really what is happening here. If you look at all
Right.
the big players in the industry, and we're going to do an interview today, aren't we, David?
Indeed, we are. We have something special coming up. I don't know if you want to tell them about it now. Do a little preview of what's to come today.
Okay, so we got some breaking news. We have a roundtable that's going to be happening today with the CEO of Litecoin, Charlie
Yes.
Lee.
This is huge.
It's
The man
true.
himself.
It's true.
Yeah.
Charlie Lee is going to be with Rich TV Live, with David Moadel, and Epic Hustler. And that's going to be today at 3 p.m. Pacific. So, and you know what? I'm so excited to meet Charlie Lee because Litecoin is my favorite coin. It is the coin that I have the most of. It is the coin that I'm accumulating the most at Coinbase because it's the cheapest coin of the three.
Right.
You can buy 3 coins on Coinbase: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Litecoin is the cheapest of the 3, so I've just been accumulating it. And I can't wait to speak with him and find out why I should accumulate more and what's coming with the company because I've been doing a lot of research on Litecoin. A lot of people don't realize that Litecoin is attempting to be the coin for the merchants.
Okay.
If you're a merchant, you can go to Litecoin's website, download their wallet, apply to be a merchant, and then you can actually take their API and post it on your website. So you can accept Litecoin as a form of payment for your products and services.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So they are accumulating as far as their merchants that are utilizing and receiving and accumulating Litecoin as a form of currency. So there's going to be a day where you're going to be able to walk into the local grocery store, their local car dealership. You'll be able to buy houses. You'll be able to do everything and use it purchasing with Litecoin. And I believe it's going to have mass global adoption and the opportunity to speak to Charlie Lee, the man who's behind it and working with the company and the face of Litecoin is such an honor for me because as a noob investor, someone that's just buying Litecoin, I'm just so excited to be able to speak with him and ask him questions as just an investor about, the future of the coin, the features of the coin, how I potentially could become a merchant and accept Litecoin in exchange for services for Rich TV Live and, what the process is and, how that all works and the future of Litecoin in comparison to Bitcoin. I want to ask him, I want to know, can Litecoin pass Bitcoin? I mean, is that possible?
That's a really interesting question.
I'm
looking forward to this.
And
it's gonna be...
and their coin is very well tightly kept. There isn't a huge supply. So because there's a small supply I believe they have huge growth potential. I mean,
Yeah.
they're at would give or take $55 US right now. So if they're at $55 US, how high can it go? We've seen it as high as 100. They're currently at
Right.
55. Bitcoin is at 4,388 as we speak. So who's to say that Litecoin can't go to 1,000?
Why not? Why not? These are questions that we can ask and have answered. I mean, how
Exactly.
often do you get to talk to the guy who invented the coin that's your favorite coin of all? I mean, come on, that's awesome. That's like getting to speak to, I don't know, if you like Berkshire Hathaway, you get to speak to Warren Buffett or something. If you like Apple, you get to speak to Tim Cook. Well, today we're going to have the roundtable right here on Rich TV Live. He's hosting it, and it's going to be 3 p.m. Pacific time
That's right.
today. That'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time. Wherever you are, come on in, check it out. I'll have questions for not just Charlie Lee, but it'll be the roundtable. We're pooling the expertise of some of the best, the movers and the shakers and the YouTubers in the industry. And thank you to Epic Hustler, who's going to be part of this roundtable discussion. Thank you for he hooked us up with the Charlie Lee connection. So that's really awesome. So
And I
I'm
got my
definitely looking forward to it.
t-shirts. I got my
Yep.
t-shirts.
Yep.
And
Yep.
man, you know what? I really
Good
like those
stuff.
t-shirts, man. Respect to Epic Hustler, man. And
Right on.
respect to Epic
Right on.
Hustler. He did. I think he made $2,000 on Regal Coin. So
Yep.
he's doing very well
That's
for
great.
himself, and he's part of my team on BitConnect. So guys, if you're looking for a team to join, look at Epic Hustler. He works hard. He works for his people, and
Yep.
he will be a great leader if you're looking for leadership and someone to help you get set up on BitConnect. If you'd like to join my team, you're welcome to join the Dream Team. I'd love to work with you. I am now a promoter for BitConnect. I believe I'm one of the first promoters in Canada that I know of. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to help people in Canada learn about BitConnect, learn about cryptocurrencies, and be a part of the digital revolution. And my goal ultimately with BitConnect would be to get an office where I can educate, hire, and train students to be a part of the BitConnect School of Education, where we can teach people how to go out and educate and teach and train others how to get involved in BitConnect. Because that's essentially
Right.
all it is. I mean, all
Yeah.
you need to do is set up an account, which is free, and then it's up to you to decide how much you want to invest. I mean, you can
Right.
literally invest as little as $100, and if you don't have money to invest, you can strictly spend time educating others and helping referrals set up their accounts. And in doing so, you can receive referral commissions, which can
Yep.
then lead to lending dollars, which you can then reinvest. So technically,
Right.
you don't even have to have money to make money on BitConnect. You just have to be willing to learn the program, learn the
Right.
system, learn the platform online, and then teach and educate and help others get on the platform. So that's the thing I really like about it. You don't really need a lot of money to make a lot of money. I mean, let's look at it. I started with $100 and I'm up to 8 grand. Craig Grant started with $100. He's up to 670 grand.
Mm.
Trayvon James started with $200. He's made over 400 grand. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on of people that started with small amounts of money and have made life-changing money.
Yep. Fantastic. It's amazing, and I'm looking forward to this roundtable. So if you could check it out, come on back to Rich TV Live. I mean, Rich always has something going on. So it's another live stream that you should check out. And if you have ideas, people you'd like to see us invite to future roundtables, leave some comments in this video and also in the roundtable video, and we'll try to hook up with those people. I mean, you never know. You never know who you're going to see next on Rich TV Live. Now, Rich, just a quick news item. I just saw this on CNN. Did you hear about this thing with North Korea and Bitcoin? This is craziness. According to CNN Tech, hackers linked to North Korea are ramping up attempts to steal Bitcoin in order to bring in money for Kim Jong-un's regime.
Wow.
This is alleged. This is not proven yet, but
Wow.
that's okay. So let me get this straight. North Korea and their craziness is just getting crazier. They're gonna steal. This is like some sort of weird. I don't know. They're trying to be James Bond or something, trying to steal Bitcoin and to help Kim Jong Un. Now, North Korea is not known for great success when it comes to just about everything. Is this something we should ignore, or should we take it seriously? What do you think?
I wouldn't be concerned about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm not concerned about it. At the end of the day, there's going to be people that are going to try to hack your Bitcoin. That's why you need to get
right,
a hardware wallet, and you need to keep your Bitcoins offline so that
right.
nobody can get access to your coins.
Okay,
The
okay.
less you're
So,
online, the more you keep your coins offline, either in a paper wallet or a hardware wallet like a Tracer or a Ledger wallet
yeah,
or actually a physical paper wallet, the more
okay,
likely that you will be secure and nobody will be able to hack your Bitcoins and steal your Bitcoins. But hacking
right,
is a big part of this industry. It's going to be a big part of this industry. It will consistently be a big part of this industry because that's the industry we're in. So yeah, it is
right.
going to be a problem. It'll consistently be a problem.
Yeah,
So we need to address the problem. We need to deal with the problem by protecting ourselves and being secure. Now, initially, when I got into this industry, I didn't have a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, so I wasn't concerned about it. But now that I'm starting to get more and more and more, and I'm
yeah,
accumulating more and more and more, I'm trying to, protect myself more and better. And I think I'm pretty well diversified. I don't have too much in one place. I've kind of spread myself around where I have a
sure.
few coins in a lot of different places. So I feel pretty well secure. But very soon, when I start accumulating a lot, and let's say our BitConnect really grows, our team grows exponentially, and I start accumulating a lot, then I will have no choice but to get a hardware wallet and start keeping it
Right.
all offline. At that point in time, I'll just keep it in my safety deposit box at my bank.
Okay,
That's the
okay. Why
safest
not?
place to do
Yeah,
it. Put it in your hardware wallet, like in a
yeah.
Tracer, and then store it offline in your local bank in your safety deposit box where nobody in the world has access to it. And then
Right. That makes sense.
whenever you need it, you go to the bank, you grab your USB type stick, and then you plug it in your computer, load it up with your coins, and then pull it out, put it back in your safety deposit box, and then store it away for another week. And I'm pretty happy just doing that and doing that for the
Yeah,
rest of my life. I think
sure.
that I've been in this industry for 4 months. I've been able to accumulate a lot. I'm very happy with that. Oh, Wendy says hello. Hi, Wendy. How you doing today?
Wendy, love you, baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually with Wendy, we helped her set up a cryptocurrency wallet, and
nice,
I'm set up. I'm set up with a wallet now as well for cryptocurrencies. So
nice.
we're taking baby steps
Good,
because
very good.
I'm a slow mover. You know
That's
that
okay.
when it
That's
comes to
okay. It's okay. You're not
and
slow. You're not
yeah,
slow because the fact that you've got a wallet and the fact that you're starting still means that you're ahead of 99% of the rest of the world.
okay,
So you're
yeah,
not
yeah,
slow. You're not slow because most people are still afraid to even do that. Before we
yeah.
continue, I just want to say hello to everyone. We've been ignoring the group. How you doing, Food Stamp? How are you, Nancy Smith? How you doing today, Sherry Levy? How you doing, Smoke That? What's up, Syndicate TV Live? What's up, Crypto Rocker? How you doing today, Crypto Collision? How you doing,
Hmm.
Sal K? And how you doing today, Wendy? How is everybody today? Hopefully everybody is safe. Hopefully everybody's sound. We are talking about a horrific event that has occurred in Vegas. There has been a
Yeah,
shooting, a massacre. A crazed gunman has opened fire on a group of people that have been watching a country concert. And unfortunately, there has been many injured, many murdered, and it is breaking news. Bitcoin
yeah,
is also hitting almost all-time highs, back to 43.89, getting very close to 5,000. So Bitcoin is absolutely on fire. And here we are, Rich TV Live and David Moadel breaking the news once again on a
yeah,
Monday. Okay, I'm a little bit sad right now. My Dallas
yeah.
Cowboys lost yesterday, so
Hmm.
we're kind of taking it on the chin lately. It's I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. So
Yeah,
we took it on the chin. We took a loss. We should have won. We found a way to lose against the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. So it's tough. But it was a crazy day of football yesterday in the NFL. A lot of upsets. A lot of really good teams lost. New England lost again, which nobody really likes to see Tom Brady lose, but I guess a lot of people do like to see him lose too, because he
Sure.
doesn't lose too often. So that was a huge upset. Atlanta, another team that was in the Super Bowl last year, lost yesterday. So there was a lot of upsets happening, a lot of big news happening in the world, a lot of news happening, like you said, in North Korea. But honestly,
Yep.
I don't really believe too much of what comes out of North Korea, because, like, let's talk about it. How long have they been talking about going to war with North Korea?
Yeah. And it's a lot of propaganda. North Korea is famous for propagandizing and for threatening and not following through because they can't. They don't have the means. And so now this crazy threat, they're going to steal people's cryptocurrencies and give them to Kim Jong Un's regime. I think it's laughable.
Well,
It's
no,
it's
I don't think it's laughable. I think it's actually very possible. But they're just like modern day gangsters. You're
yeah,
you're going to be a gangster in the crypto world now by stealing people's Bitcoin, by employing a bunch of hackers,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah.
So he's
I don't
employing
know.
modern day hackers, which are like gangsters, which are going to steal people's Bitcoin, which should be
Yeah,
illegal, which should be illegal on a global scale,
right,
right?
right. Well,
Since
he's going to get punished one of these days. He's going to, he's like a kid that just won't stop, and eventually something's going to happen. It might not, might not be at the hands of the United States, or it might be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he just keeps on keeping on. He can't even launch a missile off the ground successfully.
Oh no!
What they,
If they go to war, they will get obliterated.
yeah,
They will be obliterated. They will. I mean, what has America done to Iraq?
we took care of business over there.
It's rubble. If you go to Iraq now, it
Yeah,
used to be a beautiful country. Now it's all rubble. There's
yeah,
nothing. There's nothing
yeah,
left.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
oil. The only thing left is oil.
Afghanistan, Iraq, yeah,
The only
yeah,
thing left is oil, right?
yeah.
And
So,
America got all that too. So that's what I
yeah,
mean. Like, when Trump says this guy better be careful, he's not kidding.
yeah,
And this guy can threaten all he wants to threaten. But at the end of the day, if America decides that they are going to take you out, then they will take you out.
they'll take
And
you out.
that's what
Yeah,
happened to Iraq. It wasn't even a
right,
war. Every war I've seen in my lifetime that America has fought, they have won. Now, in my
sure,
lifetime, I wasn't there to see what happened in some of those other wars, like Vietnam, for example. I
right,
wasn't alive to see that. But in my lifetime, when I've seen the war in, oh man, Kuwait, I
yeah.
remember being a kid watching all the missiles being shot to Kuwait. Do you remember that, David?
Oh yeah, now I remember.
I remember
It
the
was,
missiles. That was a crazy war. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't remember them really taking any casualties. I just remember them shooting so many missiles and blowing everybody up. And the same thing goes for Iraq. I mean, I just see Iraq in rubble. So
yeah,
I don't see how anyone within America, got affected by those wars. Now, obviously, the troops that went
right,
to those countries and lost their lives, their families, them and their families were greatly affected.
sure,
But the
absolutely,
people within America themselves that didn't actually physically go to war, they weren't really, their lifestyles weren't changed. But the
yeah,
people in Iraq, their lifestyles were changed dramatically, whether they liked it or not, because their country no longer exists. I mean, maybe there's some houses and mountains and stuff, but anybody that was left in the city, that city no longer exists,
right.
right?
So yeah, so Kim Jong Un, I think he's laughable because I mean, it's serious. All these threats are serious. We should take it seriously because it's a politically unstable situation. But as far as his actual threats against America, he's just going to keep provoking us and provoking us. Uh, you know, we'll see what happens with it. I don't think the United States is going to put up with this forever. If this keeps happening,
I
sanctions.
think it sells newspapers. I think it sells
Yeah,
newspapers. I don't think they really plan on going in there. If they do, it's going to get ugly,
yeah,
and that's why I don't think they want to go in there,
yeah,
because it will be a one-sided event. However, because he's kind of pushing so much, there may be no choice but to use force. And that's the thing I'm a little bit concerned about. I hope it doesn't happen. I really doesn't. I hope it doesn't happen. Because I'm sad for the people of the country. Because from what I hear, the people in North Korea are starving. The people in North Korea don't have what we have here in North America. They don't have freedom the way we have freedom. There's a lot of starvation over there. There's a lack of jobs. There's a lack of opportunity. So I just don't see how it's fair to those people that have nothing to do with this. So why is one man going to jeopardize a whole country, millions and millions of people? That's the thing that's sad for me. And, you know, as a person that doesn't like war but would rather see peace, I just would rather see, you know, everyone get along and for us to work as a unit on this planet so that we can rid the world of the world's problems as opposed to creating all these problems. I mean, it's almost laughable that you have these type of massacres happening on American soil, but yet America wants to, you know, police the rest of the world. Why not focus on solving some of your own internal problems first? And I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm just trying to say this is the issue that the rest of the world has with America, which I don't think America really wants to recognize. One of the issues that the rest of the world has with America that I've heard is that whenever there's a problem outside of America, America wants to be the police officer that polices it. But yet they're having issues policing their own problems. You know, and that is something that they need to get better at, and everybody needs to get better at. But if you want to be someone that's going to police the whole global economy and the whole global society and everybody and what everybody's doing, then you also need to do a good job of policing your own society. And when you have, you know, people killing police officers and race wars within your own country, you've got a lot of internal problems.
Sure.
And you've got a president, that is saying that NFL players should be fired if they're believing in what they believe in, and the whole NFL and sporting community is turning on the president. So I mean, there's a lot of problems within America itself and with every country. So when America goes and steps on other people's toes in other countries, that's where you get a lot of instability. And a lot of resentment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I see your point of view. You know, it's not the first time I've heard it, and yeah, there are legitimate points there. You know, we have to look within and see what our own problems are for sure, and that's probably true of every country, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So you know, all I can do is hope that everything gets resolved without any violence. I'm not counting on that. Given the personalities of our president here in the United States and of the North Korean leader over there, given their personalities and their dispositions, you know, I'm hoping for the best but expecting the worst. And there's really not much else I can do.
Let me ask you a question. Let's change gears for a second. Back to Charlie Lee. So Charlie Lee is going to be sitting down with us today at 3 p.m. I almost can't believe it. But Charlie Lee is going to be sitting down with us today at 3 p.m. And I'm a big fan of Litecoin. I own Litecoin. Epic Hustler owns Litecoin. I know you don't own any Litecoin. If Charlie Lee says to you that he thinks that this coin has the potential to go up more, would you then be considering buying Litecoin?
For that reason only, no.
So what would be your, like, for David Moadel, what is it you're looking for when you're making an investment? Let's say
great question.
In Bitcoin or gold or stock. What's your criteria? You say, not just because he's on our show. Well, that's a good answer. I like that answer because you should not just buy a guy's coin just because he's on anybody's show. So that's a good answer.
Right.
But what is your criteria that you're looking for to make a good investment?
Okay, that's a great question. I mean, Charlie Lee has to say that there's plenty of potential for Litecoin. So, you know, I expect him to say that. I'll be shocked if he doesn't say that. It's what I'm looking for in any investment is, and I'm working with a larger amount of capital. So I have to be really careful. I'm looking for the risk reward. How much am I risking, and what's my max loss, and how much can I reasonably expect to gain within a reasonable amount of time? I tend to be a swing trader as opposed to a day trader who might hold for a few hours or even a few minutes if they're a scalper. And then you've got buy and hold long-term position traders like Warren Buffett who hold for 20 years or 30 years. I usually hold for a few days, few weeks, few months. All right. So that's my time frame most of the time. Doesn't mean I won't take a day trade if it's offered to me. If I see something go down way too much intraday, I might trade it, or go up way too much intraday, I might short it. But and I can have some long-term buy and hold positions as well. But usually I'm a swing trader, and so I'm thinking, okay, did something go down way too much? If Apple, a great company, goes down 8 days in a row, that's when I'll usually buy it. If a company that's really not worth much or is very speculative, like a GoPro, something like that, goes up 10 days in a row, goes up way too much, I might bet against it. I might buy some puts or even short the stock directly. Okay. And so, and that is a position I would hold for days, weeks, maybe a couple months. That's what I'm looking for, and that's my wheelhouse. That's what I'm accustomed to. So in cryptocurrencies, if if a cryptocurrency that is really good, that's really great, goes up too much or down too much, preferably down too much, I think that's the time to take a short to medium term long position. Like when Jamie Dimon says something negative about Bitcoin and then it goes down, but there's really nothing actually wrong with Bitcoin itself, that would have been a great time to get in. And I know that's hindsight to say.
Buy the dip.
Of course,
buy the dips.
Yeah.
Buy the dips.
Buy the dip well, don't just buy any dip. Don't buy the dip in, again, if it's a highly speculative company, a very small company that hasn't been around for 10, 20, 30 years, again, GoPro or something like that, I'm not going to buy that dip because I don't know if they're going to be around. They could go the way of Radio Shack or Kodak or Kmart. Something like Sears, which used to be huge when I was a kid. Sears was the place you go for certain items.
Massive, yeah. That's where you get all your appliances.
You remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
Some of our viewers and listeners now might not be old enough to remember those days. Now I won't buy the dip in Sears because it might go out of business.
Yeah,
they're closing a lot of stores on a regular basis.
Bankruptcy protection. Yeah. They're in bankruptcy protection.
They might be delisted one of these days. Rite Aid used to be huge. This is a stock that is now basically it's a penny stock. So I don't buy the dip. I don't catch a falling knife. But if it's a huge company that's been around for a long time and has plenty of capital, billions and billions of dollars to buy back their own stock, if it goes down, companies like Apple and Amazon and Microsoft, they buy back shares of their own stock. That's what they do. And so it can't go down too much, at least in the short to medium term, which is how I trade it. All right. I work with probabilities, and I want to see something with staying power. And these are questions we can have for Charlie Lee for Litecoin. And these are questions that you as an investor watching this can ask yourself. Is this a company or a cryptocurrency or a commodity or whatever that has a long-standing history of recovering from dips? Okay. Does it go up over time? Is it having a short-term dip right now based on nothing really substantial, based on Jamie Dimon saying something, okay, or based on one bad earnings report out of okay, they had 20 good earnings reports in a row and they had one bad one, and so it has a dip. It's still a great company if it had 20 great earnings reports in a row. So that's when you buy it. At least that's when I buy it. I can't tell you what to do.
No, I agree with you. I'm more of a long-term investor. I am a guy that will hold stock for years, real estate for years, cryptos for years. And I've learned a lot from Warren Buffett. I follow the Warren Buffett method of buy low, and if it goes down, buy more. And that's Warren Buffett's method is, you never take a loss. If you like something and it goes down, you buy more because you're buying it on sale. And over time, you hold it for 5, 10 years. And usually, over time, if it's a good company and has good revenues and it's growing its business, the stock should also grow. And that's Warren Buffett's attitude. And that's his
Yeah.
method. And that's why he takes a
Sure.
long term approach to every deal. And he's won on
Yep.
most of his deals that way. However, he has lost on a few deals. He admits
Oh
that.
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
when you're an investor, you're going to lose and you're going to win. That's part of the game. So
Yeah.
we have differences of opinions, but
Of course.
knowing that Litecoin is up 1,200% in the last year, knowing that it was at like $3 at this time last year, and today it's at $55, would you think that that is a scary investment, knowing that it's up 1,200%? Or would you think, you know what, it still might have more upside because it's in the blockchain? It's a cryptocurrency. It's one of the top 5 cryptocurrencies in the world. It's got a very
Right.
tight circulation. It's got really great technology. It's going to be potentially going to be mass adopted by merchants all over the world, which will be accepting Litecoin as a form of payment. This thing has the potential to go higher. Even though
Sure.
it's up
Absolutely.
1,200%, maybe it can go up 10,000%. Because
Absolutely, it could. It could. And I'm going to have to change my way of thinking. I'm accustomed to companies and researching their fundamentals. Okay, Warren Buffett, because he's so rich, he'll actually go and visit the factory of a company and
oh
look,
yeah,
before he invests in it. Now, you and I can't necessarily do that. And you watching and listening right now, you probably can't just hop on a plane and go visit the factory of a company that you're thinking about investing in. But what you can do is, Google is available to almost anybody with a phone nowadays or a computer. So you have no excuse not to do your research. And I'm just not accustomed to researching cryptocurrencies. I'm accustomed to, I can research currencies, the US dollar, the yen, something like that, the lira. I know how to research those. Researching cryptocurrencies is something new for me. They haven't been around as long as the companies that I'm accustomed to trading and investing. They're not like McDonald's or Disney or something like that, or Coca-Cola that have been around, or Ford that have been around for a very long time. And so I'm going to have to shift my way of thinking and learn how to research cryptocurrencies. What does it even mean? They don't have an assembly line to visit. They don't have necessarily, Charlie Lee is the face of Litecoin, but who is the face of Bitcoin? Is there a face of Bitcoin?
no, there
And so
isn't. That's
how do
actually
you?
a good point that you say that.
Yeah.
Satoshi
So
Nakamoto is the person who they say is the inventor of Bitcoin, but nobody really
yeah,
truly knows
I've heard that,
who
but
is the inventor of Bitcoin. And it's same
right,
with BitConnect. When I got promoted to a promoter in BitConnect, there's a whole new backend. And this backend is a whole new backend that's built into the system, and it talks to you as if you report to a computer.
yeah,
So my boss is a computer. So when you
yeah,
work with BitConnect and you become a promoter and you grow within the company, you get promotions. It's almost
yeah,
like having a job, and you actually respond and you actually answer to, they call it the system. You
yeah.
respond to the system, David. So we actually
Wow,
live in a world now where I respond to a system. I don't like to respond to a human being. I
right,
respond to a system, which is a computer that generates information to me and delivers information to me, and then I respond to the system.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is great. As an old school trader and investor, I'm going to have to shift my thinking to get used to these kinds of things.
It's
Learning,
revolutionary. It's honestly, it's
yeah,
revolutionary. It's like the machines are taking over. It's been predicted already in movies that the machines would take over. And this is the
yeah,
start of it. Cryptocurrencies,
yeah,
the digital
yep,
revolution, this is not a fad, man. This is here to stay. And people need to
yeah,
get in now before it's too late, because if you don't, you're going to miss the biggest bubble of your entire generation. And then you're going to be
yeah,
kicking yourself wishing that you got in. Wishing that you got in. Even
right,
now, even if you just get in now, look at Regal Coin. Anybody that bought in at 90 cents, today they went as high as $20. You made 20 times
yeah,
your money. On a thousand
yeah,
dollars, you just made 20 grand.
hmm,
You can't tell me that these opportunities are available in the stock market every day. But these opportunities are available in cryptocurrencies every single day right now.
right.
Every single day, these opportunities are starting to become more and more prevalent, more and more available, more and more easily accessible, and we're on the cutting edge of it. We're on the forefront of it.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. We're on YouTube. I'm watching all the YouTubers talk about it. We're investing in some of it. We're part of a lot of it. I'm not going to do all of it, but I'm definitely going to be watching it. I'm definitely going to be talking about it. But I also got to pick my poison. I got to pick my teams. I got to pick my sides. And my side right now is with BitConnect. And when it comes to buying coins, I couldn't be any happier with buying Litecoin. And the fact that we're going to be speaking with Charlie Lee in a couple hours just blows my mind. And
me too.
another coin that we can talk about before we go, because we've been an hour now, is Hostcoin.
Hostcoin.
So I just recently did a review on Hostcoin. I think it has huge potential. I've personally been speaking directly to the CEO. I know you have personally spoken directly to the CEO. He's very excited about the technology of his company. These guys want to be the future of web hosting on the blockchain. I think it's incredible. As a person who owns a website, who has had people hack into my website before and had issues in the past, I believe it's incredible that I'm going to be able to take my website, get it hosted on the blockchain, and make sure it's 100% secure, impenetrable, protected, encrypted. So it just gives me more confidence to work with Hostcoin than it does with even GoDaddy, who I'm currently with. And I believe it is an incredible technology, which is also creating more real estate, giving people who are not on the blockchain with their URL the opportunity to buy that URL on the blockchain.
Right.
So imagine if we just go up and buy Google.com, Facebook.com, Alibaba.com. We buy all of these URLs on the blockchain, David.
Yeah.
And we just own them.
Yeah.
So one day Google might decide to just come, hey, Mr. D'Souza, I see you own Google.com for the blockchain. Well, you know, in order for me to pass that to you, Mr. Google, it's going to be a pretty expensive fee. It's going to be an expensive fee. That's very expensive real estate to be on the blockchain, Mr. Google. Or Mr. Zuckerberg, you know, if you want Facebook.com on the blockchain, it ain't going to come cheap. I think it's creating an incredible opportunity. It could be revolutionary. And I've done a review so far. I can't wait to actually interview the CEO directly, put him on our show. Hopefully you'll get the opportunity to do that as well and talk about it on your show. What do you think so far about Hostcoin?
Yeah, Hostcoin. I researched it. You know me, I always research before I jump in. I like the security aspect of Hostcoin. And the website is hostcoin.io. It's not .com, it's .io. And I've noticed, by the way, a lot of coins have an IO or blockchain-related domains or .io. Hostcoin.io, you can see that there is an ICO for this coming out soon. We don't know the exact date, but we do know it's probably going to be sometime this month in October. And it is possibly a ground floor opportunity. I mean, hey, you know, maybe I missed out on Regal Coin's ICO. Doesn't mean we have to miss out on Hostcoin's ICO. Exactly. I like the cybersecurity aspect of it. You want to own a web domain on the blockchain. They're going to make sure that, I believe they said military grade cybersecurity.
Military and government grade cybersecurity. So that is the type of security that we want. That's the type of security that we want to be able to create. And that's the type of security that we want to be a part of. So that's why for us, Hostcoin has huge real world potential. And my goal, my vision for the company is for them to become the GoDaddy of the blockchain. Now, if they become the GoDaddy of the blockchain and all the ICOs get listed and their URLs get listed and do their web hosting through Hostcoin, that could be enormous for Hostcoin. And just to give you an idea of how much money GoDaddy makes every year, GoDaddy owns 4.8% of the entire web hosting industry globally, which is valued at $1.8 billion annually.
That's huge. Yeah.
So even if they can get to 10% of that, they'd be a $180 million a year company.
Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. The time to get in, what I'm learning myself is the time to get in is early, not late. I do know that the pre-ICO price is going to be a discount, and then the later you get in, the less discount you get until after the ICO. Don't count on getting any discount at all. Still a good price. I know that they're planning on $1 per coin right now. All these things are subject to change without notice, but that's what they've got slated right now. So it's going to be an affordable coin. Maybe you can't afford Bitcoin right now. Well, you could always buy the parts of it, but still, if you want to get in on something while it's cheap, you wish you did it on Regal Coin, you could do it on Host Coin. It's coming up soon.
There you go, guys. All right, David. I think we've run out of time, my friend. I will see you later with Charlie Lee and Epic Hustler, 3 p.m. Pacific. It's your boy Rich and our special guest, David Moadel, saying thanks for watching. Please stay safe. We put all of our hearts and prayers with all the victims of this massacre in Las Vegas. Please, guys, do whatever you can to support and help the victims of this horrible massacre. We wish you guys all the best, and we only want love, peace, and happiness here on Rich TV Live. And Bitcoin, $4,378. My Dallas Cowboys took it on the chin again, 2-2. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Your boy Rich and David Moadel saying we're out. Peace. It's true. If you're not winning, you're not watching. 3 p.m. Charlie Lee, Epic Hustler, David Moadel, Rich TV will be live. See you soon.